Like you see how like man him was talking and then somebody else talked like in his crew. That's what get me up. Like that's what make me like I always want to prove to somebody that I'm like they not who.
Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. are still going at it, and if this back and forth is just to hype the fight, it's definitely working. Their press conferences have been nothing but tension, with the latest one nearly turning physical. Roach looked ready to do more than throw punches. He seemed ready to toss Tank off the stage. Despite the heated exchanges, Roach remains confident, while Tank keeps trying to get in his head. During the face-off, Tank locked eyes with Roach and told him straight up, "I'm knocking you out quick." Roach didn't flinch. He stepped in closer, showing he wasn't backing down. That was all it took for Tank to shove him, making it clear he wasn't here for any fake tough guy act.
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So
The press conference was over, but Roach wasn't done making a statement. He carried that same energy into his media workout at No Excuse Boxing Club in Marlow Heights, Maryland. Anyone expecting him to look nervous was proven wrong. Roach looked sharp, relaxed, and confident. Moving up from 130 pounds to challenge for Tank's WBA lightweight title, he knows some doubt his size and power, but he's not concerned. He says 135 pounds feels perfect for him. No stress from cutting weight and no drained feeling on fight night. That's one way to look at it, but the truth is, weight classes exist for a reason. Tank is a monster at 135, and while Roach might feel comfortable, he's stepping into a division that Tank has dominated for years. That's the real concern for hardcore fans. Roach is undeniably talented. He's on a 6-fight win streak and training under his father, Lamont Roach Sr., for the biggest fight of his career. But none of that changes the fact that he's never faced a puncher like Tank as a pro. Roach keeps bringing up their amateur days as proof he belongs, saying, "Tank has definitely become a world-class fighter since then. We were both good as kids, but we've evolved a lot. I'm going to prove I've evolved more."
I say ninth round.
What?
I say ninth round.
You said 9?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling you, you saying you going down in a night?
How much does the past really matter? Tank isn't the same fighter he was as a teenager, and everyone knows it. The version of him stepping into the ring today is a nightmare for anyone in front of him. Still, Roach isn't backing down. Unlike most of Tank's opponents, he's not coming in with that B-side mentality. Something he believes is where most fighters go wrong. They've already lost before the fight even starts, Roach said. His confidence is great, but let's be real, fighters have said the same thing before. Nobody steps in the ring doubting themselves. Some got put to sleep, others went down on one knee, unable to continue, and the few who made it 12 rounds still walked away with a loss. Before the fight, they all claim they won't make the same mistakes, that they have something different, that they won't fold under pressure. Then the bell rings, and reality sets in. Tank's fights follow a pattern. Opponents start sharp, thinking they have the speed, IQ, or power to match him. But Tank downloads their rhythm, finds his opening, and when the moment comes, he shuts the lights off.
It was just so easy when he fought Frank Martin.
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter when he's fighting me.
Hey, what's your game plan?
Whoop his ass. I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head off.
Roach, however, is convinced he has the answer. "The IQ and skills I have compared to everyone else he's fought, it's on another level," he said. "The tenacity I'm bringing is something he's not used to. I'm bringing the total package." That's a bold statement. If he truly believes it, he's either one of the most confident fighters to ever stand in front of Tank, or one of the most delusional. Tank, of course, isn't buying any of it. At his own media workout, he didn't even pretend to see Roach as a real threat. "Man, he's talking like I haven't heard all this before," Tank said. "They all claim they're different. They all say they've got something special. But when I touch them, they all fall the same way. And that's really what this fight comes down to. It's not about what Roach says now, but what happens when he feels Tank's power for the first time. Let's be real, Roach isn't known for his punching power. His last knockout was back in 2018. That's a problem because if you don't have enough power to make Tank respect you, you're in survival mode the moment he starts pressing forward. Roach might have the speed, movement, and skill to make things competitive early, but the real question is, how does he keep Tank off him for 12 rounds? He's not going to hurt him.
We fought twice in the same tournament. So,
That's different.
yeah, and we fought in the Junior Olympics, in the regionals, and we fought in the nationals.
Okay.
He fought in the regionals and then fought.
And Tank knows it. He's small, man. This ain't 130. He's coming up here, and I'm sending him right back down, Tank said with a smirk. Then there's the DC versus Baltimore rivalry. Roach is carrying the pride of his hometown into this fight, treating it as more than just a matchup. The hard work I've put in shows I deserve a fight like this, he said. I've worked to become one of the best fighters in the world, if not the best in my weight class. Now, I have the chance to prove myself against a pound-for-pound talent. That's great motivation, but does it really matter? Tank isn't stepping in the ring for regional bragging rights.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog and he want to prove his skill.
Tank is here to do what he always does, break his opponents down and finish them. And for all of Roach's confidence, he's never faced anything like that before. Some fans think Roach will try to make this an awkward fight, using movement and ring IQ to frustrate Tank. That might work for a few rounds, but at some point, he'll have to stand and fight, and that's where the problems start. Tank has been in the ring with harder punchers, stronger opponents, and more experienced fighters. He's faced adversity. Roach hasn't. That's the biggest gap between them. It's not just the weight or the power, it's the experience of knowing what happens in deep waters. Tank has been tested and proven. Roach isn't proven at this level.
Him and Tank, when I see and I go read like little stuff about it, they really be debating. It don't be like, oh, Tank is gonna destroy this guy and everybody is saying it. No, that shit be like real debates, like, no, this Shakur, this, that. And then not only that, now you see Shakur moving up in weight, he's filling out, he's dropping this dude,
The rivalry between Crawford and Davis runs deeper than just trash talk. It's personal. Crawford's criticisms of Tank go beyond the usual back and forth. He seems genuinely put off by Davis's attitude and the way he carries himself. Tank, on the other hand, has no problem clapping back, calling Crawford desperate for recognition. This war of words isn't ending anytime soon. Both are too proud and competitive to back down. While Davis is locked in on his upcoming title defense, he's likely keeping tabs on Crawford's shots. And despite having a massive fight with Canelo on the horizon, Crawford doesn't seem interested in letting this beef die down.
Has there been any talks with Tank's team?
They reached out, but we told them to come back with an offer. And as far as that, we ain't heard nothing since then. Me and him fighting each other, we'll seal the deal on the kings of that division.
Whether Davis and Crawford ever cross paths again remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, their rivalry has already delivered plenty of drama, and the boxing world is paying close attention. What's ironic, though, is Tank accusing Terence Crawford of chasing money with the Canelo fight when he himself is eyeing a massive payday in Saudi Arabia for a potential clash with Devin Haney. Tank's recent comments about fighting there make it clear, he's not just thinking about boxing, he's thinking about luxury, status, and, as he put it, 2, 3, or 4 Ferraris. While Crawford's move to fight Canelo in Riyadh is viewed as a legacy-defining challenge, Davis's approach feels more like a high-stakes negotiation for his own dream shopping spree. His willingness to negotiate with Turki Alashik, the man behind Saudi Arabia's biggest fights, is already stirring controversy. During a chat on the A Safe Place podcast, Tank didn't hold back about his price tag for a Haney fight in Saudi Arabia. They said I would fight Devin, and then they said Devin was their chosen one, he explained. So now they have to pay me extra because I already know what I'm going for. The message was clear, if Haney is being treated like Saudi Arabia's golden boy, Tank isn't stepping into the lion's den without securing a sky-high payday.
On the scene, obviously you and Tank, and that's something that I feel like has built up for years.
Yeah, I mean, the fight has been built up for years, and at the end of the day, if he want the fight, he could have the fight because he's the WB fake champion. He's not the, he has the Mickey Mouse belt. Mickey Mouse belt. So if
Davis didn't just question Haney, he questioned the entire system. He openly suggested that Saudi organizers might be setting things up in Haney's favor, saying, "If I don't knock him out, you're going to give the fight to him." It's not often that a fighter speaks this bluntly about potential judging bias, especially when massive paydays are involved. What makes it even more ironic is that not long ago, Tank seemed uninterested in joining the wave of fighters cashing in on Saudi Arabia's boxing boom. Now, he's at the negotiating table, making sure the odds, and the paycheck, are in his favor.
Somebody asked Lomachenko.
Right. Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. What you think about that?
Oh,
Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready.
I need 3 now.
Yeah.
Tank is singing a different tune now, and the shift is almost comedic. One moment, he's criticizing Crawford for fighting in Riyadh. The next, he's listing off luxury car demands and setting himself up for his own Saudi payday. Turki Alashika's strategy of pouring massive sums into boxing has already pulled in some of the sport's biggest names. Fury and Usyk's 2-fight deal brought them record paydays, and Canelo's contract is reportedly big enough to make any fighter rethink their future. Davis clearly sees the dollar signs, but he's framing his interest as a demand for respect rather than just a cash grab. Still, the line between earning respect and cashing in is getting blurry. And with Devin Haney's name in the mix, the fire is only growing.
If not, y'all gonna give it to him. So that's what made me like, oh yeah, I see what's going on. So now, give me 2 or 4 or 3 Ferraris. If not, ain't no point in me going over there for. Y'all got the money.
Haney and Davis have been circling each other for years, with fans and analysts eagerly waiting for the day they finally square off. But based on Tank's comments, this wouldn't just be a fight between him and Haney, it would be him against the entire Saudi boxing machine. His criticism of how fights are handled in Saudi Arabia feels like both a negotiation tactic and a warning shot. He's making it clear that if this fight happens, he knows exactly what he's walking into, hostile territory, and he's not going in blind.
Turki Alashik mapped out Shakur's next 3 fights, and the third one is Gervonta Davis. He must be sending not the 3 Ferraris that your boy wanted. He probably gonna send him a couple Ferrari mechanics so they can build him his own Ferrari factory.
He was being sarcastic, like he said, because, Turkey was already with Devin. He was making it seem like he was fucking.
Despite all the bravado, Davis did toss a small nod of respect to Turki Alashik. "I'm only grateful for the money he's put in," he admitted. But even that praise came with a catch. He added that organizers need to be smarter and understand the sport better to ensure fair fights. In a sport where money often dictates outcomes, Davis's comments are bound to stir more controversy. He's essentially calling for transparency while also making it clear, if he's stepping into the ring, the payday better be big enough to buy out a Ferrari dealership.
I definitely don't want to be someone like Devin, you know what I mean? Talk all that trash and then overlook my opponent and then get knocked out.
Tank, Martin was really confident in this press conference today that not only is he going to secure a win, but that he's going to get a knockout. How much of that do you think is false confidence?
Then there's the question of whether Davis truly believes Haney is the favorite in the eyes of Saudi organizers. By calling Haney their chosen one, he might be laying the groundwork to discredit any potential loss before the fight even happens. It's a classic boxing move: undermine your opponent's backing so that, win or lose, you still come out looking like the hero. But it's also a risky strategy. If Davis fights Haney in Saudi Arabia and doesn't get the knockout he's predicting, his words could come back to haunt him. Boxing has always been a stage for drama, but Tank's latest comments take the spectacle to another level. He's not just negotiating a fight, he's negotiating the entire narrative.
And I'm still a casual fan, so I'm being real. So hold on.
Yeah.
When you look at like Devin Haney's situation when he went to go sue Ryan Garcia,
Yeah,
like is
bitch.
that do you
Yeah, bitch.
Okay, cool. So okay.
Crawford didn't hold back when talking about Tank Davis's chances against Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis. He flat out said Tank would take his first losses if he stepped in the ring with either of them. That's a bold claim, considering Tank's undefeated record and knockout power, but Crawford isn't just talking, he's seen it firsthand. He was there when Keyshawn dismantled Dennis Berenchik, and he knows what Shakur brings to the table. In his eyes, Tank's knockouts alone won't be enough against fighters as mentally tough and strategic as Shakur and Keyshawn.
I'm gonna fight Tank. Stop mentioning other people when I mention your fighter. What you talking about, boy? Like, don't play with me, bro. Y'all know how I'm coming. Tank, if you wanna fight, send me a contract, bro. Tank, you know.
Keyshawn Davis was just as bold, even comparing a potential fight with Tank to the brutal beatdown Crawford gave Errol Spence Jr. last year. That's not just confidence, that's a declaration of war. Keyshawn believes he's smarter and sharper, both in and out of the ring, claiming Tank has nothing but one-punch knockout power to rely on. He's convinced the world hasn't even seen the best version of him yet. That kind of talk puts real pressure on Tank to step up and prove him wrong.
Is Keyshawn the one that can crack their Gervonta code?
Gervonta can be beat easily, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, we hear you say he could be beat easily. Why?
Yeah, he could be beat easily because he's just a basic type of dude with a lot of power. If you know boxing like I know boxing, you can take away that power from you and shit. You know what I'm saying, young fella?
Then there's Shakur Stevenson, who's been chasing Tank for what feels like forever, and he's fed up. The way he talks, it's clear he doesn't believe Tank ever intends to step in the ring with him. Shakur doesn't hold back, calling Tank a weird human being and saying he has no respect for him. If that's not fuel for a future showdown, what is? He even pointed out that Turki Alalshik could easily bankroll the fight, basically daring Tank to take the deal. The ball's in Tank's court, and Shakur knows it.
I thought he was a tremendous talent. I still think he is. And I think he'll beat any lightweight with the possible exception of Keyshawn Davis.
That's a fight we probably will never see, huh?
Neither guy wants to fight.
But Tank's next test is Lamont Roach on March 1st in Brooklyn, and everyone's watching to see how he performs. This fight could set the tone for what comes next. If Tank steamrolls Roach, the pressure will be on for him to finally take on one of the division's champions. And let's not forget, Vasily Lomachenko is back in the mix. Tank's team approached Loma last year, but he was on a break from boxing. Now that he's back, he could be Tank's next target. That fight alone would be a blockbuster, given Loma's slick skills and reputation as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters when he's at his peak.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling him, you saying you going down in the 9th? You know that power occurred late.
However, there's another layer to all this, Tank's hunger for big paydays. He openly talked about negotiating with Turki Alalshik to fight in Saudi Arabia, demanding at least 4 Ferraris before even considering a deal. Some might brush it off as just Tank being Tank, but others see it as proof of how the game is changing. Saudi Arabia's deep pockets are shifting the power dynamics in boxing, and Tank knows it. He's playing hardball, but with so much money on the table, who's to say Turki won't meet his demands? The irony is hard to ignore. Not long ago, Tank took shots at Terence Crawford, accusing him of chasing money. Yet here he is, publicly holding out for luxury cars and mega purses. It's a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black.
At age, I think he was like 17. I wasn't that much older than him. I think we probably like 3 years older. Apart. But I feel as though he slowed down. All that partying and drinking and stuff slowed him down.
The difference, though, is that Crawford has already proven himself at the highest level, taking down Spence to become the undisputed welterweight champ. Tank, for all his knockouts and pay-per-view fame, hasn't unified the lightweight division yet. Fans are starting to demand more than just talk and one-punch finishes. They want legacy fights. Keyshawn Davis's comments about Tank's opponents hit a nerve too. He pointed out that Tank has been fighting guys who aren't mentally strong enough to last all 12 rounds with him. Whether that's fair or not, it's a critique that will stick until Tank proves otherwise. Facing fighters like Shakur, Keyshawn, or even Loma would silence a lot of doubters. These are opponents with elite skills, ring IQ, and the mental toughness to handle whatever Tank throws their way. Shakur's frustration is understandable. He's one of the brightest young stars in boxing and has been calling out Tank for years with no response. He made it clear that he doesn't have the financial muscle to send Tank an offer, but Turki Alalshik does. By putting the responsibility on Tank to accept a fight in Saudi Arabia, Shakur is essentially forcing him to make a choice. Either step up or keep dodging.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb plants a wife and say, who do you want next? And Tank's going to say, I want all those guys. And they're going to.
So what happens next? That's up to Tank. He has the power to control his own destiny. He can take the fights fans are begging for or go his own route and make the matchups that interest him. Either way, one thing is clear. People are watching his every move, and the conversation around him isn't slowing down anytime soon. What do you think? And how do you see Lamont Roach in all this? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.